Hello, Madonna fans and friends, and welcome to this anniversary episode for the Virgin Tour 40 years on April 10th, 1985. We're going to get into it, and I'm super excited. One of my favorite tours, even though I didn't attend. So I'm hopeful to share this with you. We're going to talk about all the different aspects to it and my own personal opinions as well. And we have a special surprise at the end. It's something that you can check out over on Facebook. So let's get into it. Virgin Tour, everyone. Just can't believe it's been 40 years, but I can still remember when I was a little kid. Well, maybe not that little, but I was a preteen, teenager, and seeing the ad in the newspaper that Madonna would open her tour in Seattle. Of course, I lived in Seattle, and the Virgin Tour did start its first show in Seattle, April 10th, 1985, at the Paramount Theater. It was April 10th, 12th, and 13th. So they skipped my mom's birthday, I believe, on the 11th. And it was slated to be a North American tour with a few dates in Canada, national tour. Um, it was also covering her first two albums as well as her Vision Quest soundtrack. And with all the Madonna mayhem, they wanted to get this thing going as soon as possible. There was no waiting on this one. It said that in Wikipedia, it said that they started working on this, promoting it in March 10th. So I'm assuming they mean as far as the announcement of the tour. As we know, Madonna was in rehearsals pretty much after a Material Girl video. So, and it's amazing on YouTube. You can find the rehearsals as well. But this was an amazing tour for her on her first run out. Opening act was the Beastie Boys, an interesting choice that Madonna herself picked. And and it was the time of the Madonna wannabes, so every girl was dressing like her in some kind of way. It didn't matter what you were wearing, whether you were wearing a bunch of bracelets, necklaces, or you had your hair up in a bow. You were showing the Madonna look, and we're going to get into that a little bit later too. But what did you think when this tour was announced? Were you around for that announcement? If you were too young, or if you were not here yet, but what do you think of what you saw of the tour later on when you watched footage and took it all the way back to 1985? Continuing on about the Virgin Tour, of course, it did very well. I mean, I remember that, of course, the Paramount Theater is not a very big venue, and they had her in smaller venues to start. But because of the craziness and the mania that was taking place, they started booking her into bigger venues. So by the end of it, she was at Madison Square Garden um, in New York, and that was where they wrapped up in June. It was June 11th, 1985 for the last shows. So going from Paramount to, um, was that Radio City Music Hall or Madison Square Garden? One of the two, but it was a much bigger venue, so I apologize if I got the name wrong. Much bigger venues, and that happened often throughout the tour where they had to the ticket sales were just so insane. Um, just like her album sales for Like a Virgin, they were selling out. I think they set at a rate of like, this many tickets or albums per second. Just that was the way they were measuring it. And of course, the final box office scores as far as the tally was like over 5 million, which today would be like 14, I believe it would be 14 million. You have to figure this is just in America and a few dates in Canada. So it did extremely well. She was on the cover of Time magazine with everyone trying to figure out why she's so hot. I mean, she was everywhere. And yes, but let's talk about a little bit about the set list. They said they covering the first two albums, so Madonna and Like a Virgin, as well as the Vision Quest soundtrack. Both songs were performed, and Into the Groove, which was the B-side to Angel. We did a little trivia on Tuesday. about the Virgin Tour live video, which excluded 3 performances: Angel, Borderline, and Burning Up, which were, she did perform them on the show. And of course, Madonna later, after the show, had an interview with Molly Meldrum and talked about how she structured the show to start really strong. And Dress You Up was a great choice because it was going to be the next single. And not only that, everyone in the audience was dressing like Madonna. So it was perfect, perfect choice. And have a great middle and have a great ending. And the middle would probably be, Lucky Star, Crazy for You, and the ending, of course, Like a Virgin and Material Girl, the biggest recent hits that she had. Um, and of course, she had 2 male backup dancers, um, which, later on she would, switch to female, but they kept up with her. She did a lot of dance moves in this show, so kudos to them. And we also had a great band. Patrick Leonard was the musical director, who had been previously musical director for Michael Jackson, so perfect to have him there. And we're going to get into one of the other members of the band a little bit later, so that's a little preview. But what did you think of the set list? Did you wish there were certain songs that she included or didn't include? And how did you like the overall look and feel with the risers, the staging? Of course, it was a little more simpler than but she still had the stairway. She still had the stairway, a classic Madonna staple. So let us know in the comments what you thought of the visuals of this show. Costuming on this show is also very key. Madonna had to present the next looks that all the Madonna fans, Madonna wannabes, wanted to copy. And she had all her basic looks there. She had the multicolored paisley look to start with the jacket and all of the staples of being a Madonna wannabe. She had her neon, she had her lace, um, all the jewelry, everything that you would want, the hair, bow. It was just so perfect and so colorful. Leading into the next segment, which was more of the bad girl look, starting with Gambler. She had the fringe. She had the fringe, the leggings, the aviator shades. She was bringing that look to life. Um, and then at the end, the wedding dress, which was symbolic of the whole Like a Virgin era from the performance on MTV previous to the previous year to the album cover. And of course, to end with Material Girl, she had the ultra glamorous white um, dress and then the stole with that. Now, I was going to look this up, and they did mention Maripol in Wikipedia, Maripol having designed the jewelry for a lot of Madonna's looks in the early 80s, but I thought it was Marlene Stewart who did the costumes. So somebody in the comments, let me know if I'm getting that wrong, if that was Who's That Girl tour when that started, or if that was also the Virgin tour. But the outfits are absolutely wonderful. We can tell from the first few dates, she had a different jacket and she had a sparkly black top with a matching skirt for the jacket, and that was kind of let go of in favor of the other jacket with the neon and the purple skirt and all that stuff. So we got a glimpse of, with the sparkly top, we know that that was probably a part of an, because they said, I remember reading that article where they said they made white and black versions of some of the outfits. So we could see that the cutout crucifix black crop top was used in the second segment, which the same crop top was used in the Virgin, Like a Virgin performance. So one can imagine that they were identical outfits, as well as the top for Material Girl, which was the sparkly white top, similar to the sparkly black top in those first few shows. So there was a little bit of mix and match there. Madonna likes to do that. I think in Drowned World, she paid a little homage to the Virgin tour with having so many different versions of that opening outfit, as Madonna had these two different versions. But what did you think of the costumes? I think it was great that she had so many changes in the show, being a first tour, giving us a lot of different looks. Which was your favorite look of the show? Did you like the white? Did you like the black look, or the opening look? Let us know in the comments. The merchandise of this tour, OMG. Well, not that I was personally there, but I know I've seen a photo. Was that the style book? Debbie Fuller had a photo in one of the pages that kind of showed some of the items for sale. And myself, I do have the tour program, as you see here. Love this program. You could probably find it on eBay, but it's not going to be cheap. Also, I have one of the shirts. It's like a muscle tee. It's kind of a cream colored with the album cover on the front, and it says Virgin on the back. But outside of that, I know there was jewelry, posters. A lot of this was from the Hawaii photo shoot of 1985, early 1985 that they did, which also appeared in the opening segment before she comes out. So, so yeah, posters, shirts, tour program. I'm sure there were some buttons, jewelry. If you went to this tour and you were able to get any of the merchandise outside of the program, let us know what you saw or what you remember purchasing, if you still have any of those items. Um, but of course, with Madonna Mania, there's going to be lots of different things to purchase. Even at that early stage and early era, there was so many things. Would have been so awesome to get one of those earring sets. Oh my God, I would never wear it. I would keep it in glass or something very special. So let us know what you think of the merchandise. There's not a lot of pictures out there of it, but what you have seen or purchased yourself, maybe on eBay if you've seen some of the merchandise there as well. Now for a little bit of odds and ends about the Virgin Tour, and this is a great shot. If you remember, you probably saw it on MTV. There was a look-alike contest when they got to New York. Um, and the lady says, what did she say? When you wear Madonna clothes, everybody looks at you, everybody stares and says, look at that girl over there. I don't think that was the winner, but someone else said that in that segment. And they had a whole store of Madonna clothing that you could purchase. I think it was through Macy's. Man, that would have been amazing. A lot of the looks Madonna was showing us, as well as different styles, paisley, of course, the jewelry and just the lace and the skirts and everything. I'm sure they had all kinds of stuff there. That would have been a paradise for us fans, but that was over in New York at the time. As far as other items about the Virgin Tour, let's see. So I remember hearing some trivia that she had the Beastie Boys, of course, but then I heard that the Fat Boys were supposed to originally be slated as the opening act, and they became famous later. They did Wipe Out, but because she knew them in New York, so that's pretty cool that she was supporting these bands that were not quite famous. Beastie Boys wouldn't make it big until 1986 with License to Ill, and then they had their moment. So that was really incredible. Um, Also, controversies, yeah, because everyone was dressing like her, and it was kind of a bit of a salacious look. So there was some articles about that, wondering about the effect she was having on the girls, on the young girls, and her musical lyrics and her looks in the show. Um, they talked about that. PMRC was trying to ban Dress You Up because it was too saucy for them. So there was that going on at the time. Um, but you can't stop the fans. I mean, they really had to just they had to let that one go. They had to don't die on that hill because that wasn't going to go anywhere. Um, but other than that, I think it was just a huge success. It showed Madonna had appeal beyond just, the music videos, that she could sing, that she could dance. And of course, her next tour after that was a world tour, as she was able to expand beyond the national tour. Um, And during the tour, she got engaged to Sean Penn, and so that was very exciting. I remember reading that article, and yeah, so if you think of any moments, special moments, or any trivias you'd like to share about this tour that I might have missed, please let us know in the comments because this is just an incredible time. 40 years later, I can't believe it. And I'm just so happy. I watched it on the VHS like a lot of us and was totally thrilled and enthralled. I want to thank all of you for watching this anniversary episode of the Virgin Tour. And here's a picture of me at the Reinvention Tour with Michelle, my friend, Madonna friend, and my mom. Um, Dressed in the Virgin Tour look, the white dress, the whole thing. It was amazing. And I got a lot of appreciation from the fans at that show. Um, but I also want to say that we have something special planned for everyone for this anniversary over on Facebook, Madonna Everybody Fan Club. Many years ago, I interviewed the bass player, Bill Lanphier, and I did two interviews with him. So I'll see how many of those interviews we can share. We can definitely get one of them up. Guilherme's going to take my old website and put that up on Facebook and make it legible so you guys can read it because it's quite small over on the website. But we asked him a bunch of questions. There's some exclusives in there. And we had the fans ask him questions, and we'll see if we can get both of those up for you. Make sure you go over there, join Madonna Everybody Fan Club, and you'll be able to see those pieces. But also, I want to. We didn't have words tonight because we were doing this video as well. So. One of my favorite quotes of Madonna of all time comes from this tour, from the Virgin Tour live video. And it is, do you believe that dreams come true? Hold on to your dreams. And, at the time that I watched the video, I was struggling with being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So it really helped motivate me to keep going as I've been doing all my life, dealing with the chronic illness. So thank you, Madonna, for that beautiful words that you gave me, the strength you gave me. And this tour is just amazing. It inspires me all the time that she was so early in her career and she was already a pro. Made it look easy, right? But it was, I'm sure it wasn't. And everything since has been incredible. Um, so tell us what your thoughts are on this tour. Any special moments, any thoughts you have about the costumes, the music, the song choices, the merchandise, and everything else. And thank you again, everyone. Let's celebrate the Virgin Tour. Dance and sing, get up and do your thing. Thank you for joining us here at Madonna Everybody Fan Club channel, and I hope you enjoyed our latest video. I hope that you will join us here by liking and subscribing. And also, we have social media with Facebook. We have Madonna Everybody Fan Club, over 5,000 Madonna fans to join. And we have an Instagram at Madonna EFC. So make sure you check those out, as well as a page on Facebook, Madonna Everybody Fan Club, to follow. So definitely check out those social media platforms and join us there. We have contests, we have Fan of the Month, and we have features and lots of great fans to meet. But more importantly, we'd love to hear from you. Make sure you comment on this video and let us know if there's anything you'd like us to talk about or any future video topics you'd like to see. And thank you again for joining our Madonna family. Music does make the people come together. Thanks, everyone.